Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a great rack, looks very close to a bingo. I'm not seeing a 7, but there will be quite a few 8s with this rack. So I hope my opponent doesn't change. What if he does? Well, always tricky to break up a bingo-y rack. I guess the O would need to go. How strong is detail as a 6-letter set? Might be worth changing O and I. Great, I have a few floaters to consider. So, anything with the W? Not that I can see. How about the O? Well, that's a lot of vowels. M? Don't think so. A is another vowel. How about the N? Probably the most likely looking. Any of these bingos, should they exist, will be very high probability, so I would hope to spot them. So this rack plus an N, delation, fantastic. Maybe I should have considered that first. Delation for 80. Not so good, but it is 7 random tiles, so hardly surprising. And there's a degree of balance here with just 4 vowels. I must be mindful of column 8. I think woman probably has a number of 3-letter front extensions, but I'm not seeing any with this rack. I guess I'm looking to play the K for score, and O and U are next in line to be played. Gauk is good. 23 for opponent. So, is there anywhere for Auk or Gauk? Now, Cab and Co are both good. Emo is good, but I'm not seeing a play through that. I think the best I can see there is Koto, leaving EGOU, which is a bit grim. Abo is good. Well, I have Gauk down here for 28 points. Slightly vulnerable rack leave in that it's vowel heavy, so if I draw vowels, I could be facing a low-scoring move next turn, but I'm not seeing a way of playing off more vowels on this go. I'm going with this. Great, well, I'm not swamped with vowels. I draw an S. And these are all bingo-y tiles, slightly hampered by a triplicate T, but quite a few floaters on the board. So, firstly, is there a 7 with this rack? Don't think so. Stotted, were it to exist, only uses one E. Now, what about Teleost? Well, that only uses 2 T's. How about the A? Not good. What about the T? Well, that would be 4 T's. Quite a low probability word. And the I, so I would have the IEST ending. Again, the best I can see is Toeiest, which doesn't use all of my T's, so I'm not seeing a bingo with this rack. But it should be fairly easy to sort out. Great, no bingo from opponent. Fixed doesn't take anything after it. I'm just wondering if I can use the X to bump up my score. The play I was considering was Tot for only 13 points, but quite a good rack leave. Can I do better than that? So that's 13. What about just Oat? 12 points, that's dismal. What else could I do? I could play tote. 16 points, quite a good 3-letter set. And opening the board up, which I'm inclined to do given how bingo-y this 3-letter set is. I'm just wondering if I should retain a second E and play tot. No, I don't think so. There are a couple of floating E's on the board by playing tote. And my other concern is that this is too volatile. I'm creating quite a few scoring lanes. Let me just briefly put this back. I don't feel totally comfortable with that. What about tot here? 13 points. And stot is good, which was the purpose of playing in column 7 to set up a new 7-letter lane ending in S. I'm going with tote for 16. Awful pickup. 2 I's, an O and a W. Could have been worse if I'd retained that E. Now, I do have a scoring tile in the W, and I'd like to sort out the duplicate I, and I can do that with a play of Iwi, which plays in row I under delation. Okay, I think opponent was going to bingo somewhere with that rack. 79 points, he goes into the lead. I have a new Iwi spot, and I can play at either side of sedates. This side scores more, and there are multiple bingo lanes with the floaters in delation and the hooks for tote. So I don't need to create additional ones in column 13, or I don't need to sacrifice points to do so. So Iwi for 25. I have jostled. That plays in row L. It doesn't play anywhere else. And I'm not seeing any 8s with this rack. But simply playing the J off is going to leave a pretty good rack leave. Are there any big J spots? J-bow, not good. I guess I could play Joe and Oys. And that's slightly consonant heavy rack leave, just the one vowel. But there are multiple vowels on the board. Wow, back-to-back bingos from opponent. Fantastic play, trackled for 89. But I can come straight back with a bingo of my own because I have jostled. And I have a choice as to where to play it. I can play it at face value, making toted, or I can play it here, opening up column 15, but for a bigger score. I trail by 100, I have to go with the bigger score. Jostled for 89. I draw the Q with the U, which is good. I have query on my rack. I trail by 9. Not seeing anywhere great for query. I have qui and phi, key and phi. I would have frequency through NC, but I'm not going to find that on this board. Where else can... query, column 14, through this E, getting the Q tripled. Wow, will that stay available? No. Okay, an opponent's able to jettison a V and score 36 points, plus blocking my big spot. So do I have a 6-letter Q play ending in M? No. Do I have anything better than key? And key blocks these floaters, T and R, and A, which I'm slightly reluctant to do because I trail. But I'm not seeing anything better than key. Are there any other Q words I haven't considered? Nothing I've got goes after IS. 12 minutes on my clock. I don't have any front extensions for woman. No, I'm not seeing anything better, so I am removing these floaters. Key takes an N at the end as well as an S, so lots of N's to come. Opponent could play in row F. I guess rows M and O are quite good bingo lanes, and there are still the floaters in delation. I'm going with key. And I draw an N, so if that stays available, I've got fin. Going back to column 8 each time. I can think of Mad Woman. I'm not sure what the other front extensions are. So still 3 N's in addition to the 2 on my rack. I'd like to do something about these duplicates and maybe use the F for score and to get it off my rack since it's non-bingo-y. Well, I could play Freener, but that's not going to score very much. 20 points. Opponent goes there, which means that he leaves alone this spot, and cab is quite a crafty play in that he's taken out row M as a bingo lane. Row O still available. So let me see what this scores. That's 27 points. Quite nice to score that many points with only 2 tiles. Not a great rack leave, and it could get worse if I draw another N or R and 3 of each left. Is there a better play than this? This is 27 points. No, I'm going with this. Well, I dodge N's and R's. And I draw a scoring tile in the P, but I'm not seeing a 7-letter bingo with this rack. I lead by 4 points. So, where are the floaters? E, L, and A. Not seeing anything there. There's the E of Vidam. Well, I'm not seeing any 7s or 8s with this rack. So, what to do here? Just looking in column 1 to see if I can get my P doubled, or indeed if there are any 5-letter plays. So, A or E could go first, and N or P. I would like to get rid of U and P. Upran doesn't play in that spot. I could play Cup. 21 points. No O for ISO. That would be a way of creating a new bingo lane in column 14. 10 minutes on my clock. Trouble with playing Cup is that I'm taking out the E as a floater, and rapidly the board would then have no bingo lanes. However, I only trail by 11, so I need to be careful that I don't play as though I needed a bingo. 9 minutes on my clock. Still floating A and I. I think I will play cup. It's 21 points. And there will be scoring opportunities on this board, and there are scoring tiles out there. In particular, the Z. A shame about the duplicate R with 3 to come. In fact, that's a really big shame. What about playing up Ran? It doesn't take anything at the end. It stops opponent scoring in that spot, and he could play Azuri for 70. I'm leaving the E alone. And this rack leave is much better than one with 2 R's when there are 3 to come. And turning over 5 tiles increases my chances of drawing the blank. Let me just check the remaining vowels. Wow, 11 out of 25. Okay, I'm going with this. Now, rather than this, I've just seen something. What about this? 33 points, slightly better score. And then not as good as RE, but there are 3 R's to come, there are 3 E's to come. I'm going with this. And I draw the Z and the blank. I would have unvizard onto a D. Well, that's another front extension of woman, and it creates a new bingo lane. And I trail by 17, 9 tiles in the bag, 7 minutes on the clock. So, no D's for unvizard. I could also play that through an A, but Quain has blocked that. I have unvisor on my rack. Nowhere for that. Do I have anything beginning with A or I? I don't think so. Wow, and still no O for ISO. That's irksome. 7 minutes on my clock. I would have Vezir through an E. Wow, really struggling to sort this rack out. I guess it's because U, V and Z are all in their own way junk. Ah, what about this? I can get rid of two of those 3 with Cuz for 42, and this rack leave isn't too bad. The first one of the V's has already been played, and it goes quite well with this A. I'm going with this. I do draw both of the O's for ISO. This is going to always look close to a bingo with a blank and a balanced rack and only 1 scoring tile. 6 minutes on my clock, 7 tiles in the bag. Just looking in column 13 if it's worth looking for a 7-letter play. I don't think it is. Do I have anything through the A? I'm inclined to think I don't. And I can't see anything good which uses ISO. I am looking to get rid of V and O. No post extensions to Ute. I have Avion down from the A. And at this stage I do have a slight lead, 25 points, but that's likely to vanish. Opponent on turn. Do I have a bingo through the Z? I don't think so. Now, just noticing I've got un here. I hope I didn't have unvizards or something like that in row J. No, I wouldn't because I had the U on my rack. But that is a bingo lane beginning with U, beginning with un. Not seeing anything there. have is good. Well, opponent's just played there. 4 tiles in the bag. What to do? Look at this, just 1 point between us. So I'm looking to get rid of V and O. Where can I do that? Just nothing has come to mind. And I'd also like to score. Jar is good. But I can't get rid of the V in that spot. I've not seen a word, but is there something with this pattern? 22 points if there were, or at least that score. Not seeing anything. 5 minutes on my clock, so I do have time. What about Evo? This makes me wince. Sticking an O underneath a double word square. And only 12 points. I am burning the V, which I want to do. But opponent could stick his H there. That just doesn't feel best. Wow, visor is tempting, but there is an S out there. What about playing Revo up here? Opponent's not going to score very much in column 4. And with 2 E's and 2 I's, I could have quite a bingo-y rack. Not many bingo lanes. There's still the I of Delation. There's the A of Airwoman. But I don't need a bingo. I do have the tempo. This is going to leave 1 in the bag, which is exactly what I want to leave. I'm going with this. Wow, that looks nice. If I'd played Visor, I would have had sole access to column 15. Now, is there a bingo through the A? Llaneros is blocked. No, I do not have Solander. That also is blocked. 4 minutes on my clock. This has got to be the most promising lane. So this rack plus an A. That looks close. That's the Solander rack, but it does have an anagram, I think. Farney Sol. Yep, that does the job. Maybe that's not good, but I think it is. It would be nice. Alien Ores. I don't need to worry about Farney Sol because that doesn't get tripled and Alien Ores does. So, supposing row A is blocked, do I have a bingo beginning with I? Not seen anything so far. Still nothing. This is looking less promising. Intersol not good. No. Fantastic. Alien Ores not blocked. 24 for opponent. So, Alien Ores for 74. And the final score, 407 for my opponent, 486 for me, a winning margin of 79 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, that was an exciting end. I've already said that. I meant to say hi. So it was opponent to go first, and he played woman, and this is my rack, and delation was the only bingo, so I got there in the end. Opponent's rack plays dob, and I played gauk, and I could have got 4 more points with gook, I4. Yeah, but I think I'm best shot of the U. There may not be a 4-point difference between ETU and EOT, but there might be. And if not, they're going to be close, and in that situation I would prefer the better rack leave. So I play gauk. Opponent plays fixed. And I had this rack, and it looked quite tantalising, but there's no bingo there. And I went with tote for 16, which looks fine. Great rack for opponent. Has sedates for 79. And I now trail with not a great rack, and I play iwi for 25. And that looks fine. I think EOST probably is 5 points better than IS. I think IS probably worth about 9 points maybe, and EOST probably between, well, maybe between 15 and 20, but closer to 15, so I think iwi is better. B13, yeah, Towie, quite a nice play. Opponent's rack, and this was where he back-to-back bingoed, and I felt that it wasn't going to be my game. But fortunately, I was sitting there with a bingo on my rack and had jostled in a couple of spots, including this one for 89 points, so I now trail by about 10. Opponent plays Vidam, which was a nice spot. And I have the Q. I played key for 44. I could have got 4 more points, C3, by playing queerly through the L. I think I prefer the rack leave after key. I think fur is probably 4 points better than just F. Yeah, probably slightly more than 4 points better. So I'm happy with that play. Just 1 point between us, such a close battle in the middle of the game. In fact, we're 3/4 of the way through. Opponent plays cab, starting to close the board down. And I now trail, and I've got duplicates. So I play Finn for 27. And opponent's got all these ends. So let me just go back a couple of plays. He did have an N when he played cab. So what did he have in the Finn spot? Well, nothing obviously great. I suppose bin is the best he could do, but I suspect he was more mindful of closing down bingo lanes. So I play Finn. Opponent plays Henna, and I trail by 11. And I think this is where the game started to turn. I played up rear for 33 when I was on the brink of playing something far inferior. And look at this, I could have gotten 12 more points with Pen Woman. With a pretty poor rack leave, so I'm happy with up rear. If I'd seen Pen Woman, would I have played it? Probably not. I think this was a really hot spot, which would have been really useful for opponent. And this rack leave, keeping a duplicate R with 3 to come and a U, not good. So I play up rear. Opponent plays Air Woman, which was a great spot. And I played Cuz, and there is no bingo. So I now lead. I've had a couple of good plays with good scores with up rear and Cuz, and I lead by about 20. But it's opponent on turn. He plays Yap, And now look at this, just 1 point between us with 4 tiles in the bag. And I wanted to get rid of the V. And I did so with Revo for 14 points. And the only play scoring much more than that was Payor, but that retains the V. So I like my play, and I felt this O acted as some sort of distraction for opponent, such that he might leave this A alone. Opponent plays Rig, and that's great because look at this. I have all these bingos, and wow, there are bingos through the U. Neurosal and Nauazuld play through the U. And my play of ailerons was 4 fewer points, so 4 points lost at the death there. But what a game. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Opponent had back-to-back bingos in the middle, and he's a very strong player, so I thought I might be on the receiving end of another loss from at his hands, but that wasn't the case, and I had a nice run of scores towards the end of the game with Uprear and Cuz, and then was fortunate enough to be able to slot a bingo in right at the end. So many thanks to my opponent for a great battle, and I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time. And just to say that it's roughly towards the beginning of the month, which means another video has been uploaded to the Patreon site, a 5-minute game, very exciting game, that's only accessible to patrons of the channel, for whose support I am enormously grateful, and my appreciation of their support is demonstrated each month with the upload of a video for their exclusive watching pleasure. So many thanks to my patrons for their support, and if you want to become a patron, and I hope you do, the link is always below each video. Thank you.